As of late, Kevin Durant has been making headlines all for the wrong reasons, and for that reason, I've decided to change things up and bring some positivity to his name by placing KD in his prime with the Houston Rockets. The goal of this video will be to win a championship, while I also rebuild the Rockets into the perfect team around Kevin Durant. In his prime, he will be a 98 overall, aged 28. This is a season that KD went on to join the Golden State Warriors and won multiple championships, so hopefully he can do so here with the Houston Rockets as well. And taking a look at the rest of the team, we do have some good young players to play with. We have Şengün, Amin Thompson, Eason, plus injuries will be off for the entirety of this video, which means we do get ourselves Fred VanVleet back from his injury. Having VanVleet back in our starting lineup is going to be huge. He's a really good playmaker, plus he barely turns the ball over, which is exactly what the Rockets have been needing in their lineup all season long. So now the new lineup will be Fred VanVleet, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Then off the bench, we have Amin Thompson, Reed Sheppard, Steven Adams, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Before we start simulating, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That really does support the video and channel a ton, and I would like to say thank you all for helping me hit 700 subscribers. That truly does mean the world to me. It looks like the first game will be up against the Charlotte Hornets. Can we go on to defeat them? And we do end up losing here 136 to 120. KD dropped 40 points, but the rest of the supporting cast was not all there. The next game is up against the New York Knicks. Can we at least go on to defeat them? And yes, we can. We end up winning this game 129 to 120, where Reed Sheppard dropped 31 points in 19 minutes. Let's go. And then we had KD dropping 30 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. For the rest of this season, we're rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Ime Udoka. And now I'm going to continue simulating, and I'll see you all at the end of this season. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Isaiah Collier 6-Man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Buzelis Most Improved, Anthony Edwards Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and the OKC Thunder also win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and we do get ourselves Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant on All-NBA second team. Let's go. Do we get anyone here on all defensive team? No, we do not. But we did end this season being the number 30 seed, winning a total of 54 games and losing 28. So clearly things have been looking pretty well for us. Hopefully we can continue this regular season success in the playoffs. But before that, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. So of course, the leading scorer was none other than Prime KD, averaging 27 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, on 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. And then we had Alperen Şengün averaging 21, 16 from Thompson as our 6-man. Well, he did start in 52 of the games, but he was our 6-man from when I started recording this video. 15 from Jabari, 12 from Reed Sheppard, and a few more players in double-digit scoring. Fred VanVleet's playmaking has been huge for us. He's averaging 7 assists per game. His efficiency hasn't been the best, but hopefully he can turn things up in the playoffs. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Denver Nuggets. They have themselves Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway Jr., Peyton Watson, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, and this is their bench unit. So let's see how things go here in the first round of the playoffs. Game number 1 will go to us, and KD drops 55 points. Holy. He had Eason with 22, Alperen Şengün with a 20-point double-double. Let's go. Game number 2 will also go to us, and this time Şengün drops 40 points, Jabari with 34, Thompson with 26, and 18 from KD. He did foul out in 23 minutes, which is why he did not score all that much, but he did only miss 1 single shot from the field. And so far here in the playoffs, our offense has been elite. Game number 3 will also go to us, and we score 132 points, where KD goes off dropping 31, Şengün with 20, and 17 from Jabari Smith Jr. Are we going to sweep the Denver Nuggets? And we do not sweep them, but can we, gentlemen, sweep them? And yes, we can. KD dropping 43 points here in Game 5, Şengün with a 32-point double-double. And just like that, we've made it to the second round of the playoffs. So far here, KD is averaging 35 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, shooting 63% from the field. Şengün is averaging 25. And now let's see which team we're going to be taking on in the second round, and it will be the San Antonio Spurs. They have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stefan Castle, Devin Vassell, Julian Champagny, and Victor Wembanyama. Let's see if we're also able to defeat the San Antonio Spurs. Game number 1 will go to us. Eason here dropping 25 points, and so far he's averaging 50% from the three-point line. Şengün with 24, KD with 20. He did only play 27 minutes, I'm not sure why, but at least we still got the win. Game number 2 will also go to us. KD here dropping 33, Şengün with a 25-point double-double. Game 3 we also end up winning, KD going off here for 38 points, 30 from Eason, and 29 and 9 from Şengün. All we gotta do now is win one more game and then we'll have made it to the conference finals, and we do go on to sweep the San Antonio Spurs. KD dropped 34 points and 30 from Şengün. So far KD's averaging 33 points per game. And it looks like we're either going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors or the OKC Thunder, both of KD's former teams. And it will be the Golden State Warriors, a team KD won 2 championships with. They have themselves Stephen Curry, Brendan Pajemski, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. Let's see how things go here in the Western Conference Finals. Game number 1 will go to the Golden State Warriors, so they defeat us here 134 to 129. Jabari played amazing, so did Eason. KD did kind of struggle, shooting only 5 of 14 from the field. Game number 2 does end up going to us though. We win here by 30 points. Şengün with 32 and 11, KD with 31, 24 and 15 from Amen Thompson. Game number 3 will also go to us, 102 to 97. KD with 32, Şengün with 15 and 11. Can we go up 3 to 1? And we do not. They do end up tying up the series, winning here 127 to 118. KD had 24, 24 from Şengün, and 22 from Jabari. So the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. This next game will decide a lot, and we do end up losing this game, and now the Warriors are up 3-2. KD had 21 points, 20 from Jabari. If we lose this game, we will be eliminated here in the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors do have home court advantage on their side. So far, it's a pretty close back and forth battle. We are up by 4, 11 minutes remaining. And it looks like, okay, so this is a 4-point game. We are up by 4 points. Let's see who goes on to win, and we end up winning by 5 points. Şengün with 27, KD with 26. Time for Game 7. Thankfully for Game 7, we will have home court advantage on our side. It looks like, holy cow, we going to get eliminated. Okay, so it looks like, I thought we won that game, but clearly not. One of their players hit a clutch shot to win by 1 single point. And that is absolutely insane. Brendan Pajemski just hit a game-winning 3-point shot to win the Warriors that game. I mean, that just means we're going to have to pull off some trades this offseason, upgrade our roster, because clearly we're not championship contenders. KD played amazing. This was not KD's fault whatsoever. Jimmy Butler goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, Jalen Johnson Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and the Atlanta Hawks go on to win, with Jalen Johnson winning Finals MVP. And here are the player stats for our team in the playoffs. KD played absolutely amazing. He was averaging 30 points per game while shooting 60% from the field and 43 from the three-point line. So this was not KD's fault whatsoever. We just need to build a better supporting cast around him this offseason, which means we're going to be pulling off some big trades. We do have some second round picks in the 26th draft, but we're not going to be drafting any players, so I'm going to be trading them away to the Philadelphia 76ers, where in return we get ourselves 2 future second rounders. For team player options, we will be picking up the team option on Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd, and it looks like Fred VanVleet goes on to pick up his player option. Not sure if we need to re-sign anyone, so it looks like we do need to re-sign Tari Eason, who this offseason is a free agent, but we should have bird rights on him. Plus, he is a restricted free agent, which means we're going to be re-signing him no matter what. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 5-year deal, $10.7 million annually. And it looks like he does go on to accept on a 5-year, $62 million contract. I do want to upgrade our starting point guard position this offseason, so we're going to be pulling off a trade with the Indiana Pacers, where we land ourselves Andrew Nembhard to be our brand new starting point guard. We also get Obi Toppin in this trade. We're going to be sending the Pacers Fred VanVleet, Dorian Finney-Smith, and an unprotected first-round pick from the Phoenix Suns. Just like that, we've got ourselves a new point guard. I decided to throw Obi Toppin in Trade Finder, and the Sacramento Kings are offering us Keegan Murray and Devin Carter in return for Obi Toppin and Steven Adams. Keegan Murray could be our sixth man, provide us with 3-point shooting off of the bench, plus he's a really good backup wing that we need. So I'm going to be pulling off this trade with the Sacramento Kings. Now for free agency, I am going to be offering Luke Dort a contract, really good two-way player that could come off the bench and be the backup guard / wing player. So I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 3-year contract, paying him about $4.6 million annually. And I will also be offering Robert Williams a contract. He could possibly be the backup center. He only wants a minimum, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 2-year contract, and it looks like all 3 of the players will be accepting. So once again, Tari Eason, Luke Dort, and Robert Williams will be a part of our rotation. And I totally forgot that we don't even need ourselves Luke Dort on this team, since we already have Amen Thompson as the backup shooting guard. So I'm going to be sending away Luke Dort to the LA Lakers, where we get ourselves Dalton Connect and a first-round pick. Here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have Andrew Nembhard, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. And then off the bench, we have Amen Thompson, Keegan Murray, Reed Sheppard, and Robert Williams III. If you're wondering why I'm still running Amen Thompson as our 6th man, the reason is pretty simple. I want there to be floor spacing and 3-point shooting in our starting lineup. Tari Eason has an 88 overall 3-point shot, whereas Amen Thompson only has a 58. So that's the reason he will still be our 6th man, but he is playing 30 minutes per game. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season and see how we do. We do have 4 games in the first week. Hopefully we can go on to win all 4. We do end up winning 3 out of the 4 games. We defeated the Indiana Pacers here 121-88. Our defense was amazing. KD dropped 33 and 11. Andrew Nembhard had 17. Eason with 16. Thompson with 14. Let's see how we did here in the first game of this season against the Timberwolves. In this game, KD had 31, 17 from Eason, 17 points, and 16 rebounds from Sengun. I do feel like Andrew Nembhard's a huge upgrade from our previous point guard, Fred VanVleet, so I do think there will be a lot more success. Let's take a look at the system proficiency. We are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, balanced under Ime Udoka. And now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there's any trades to be made, I'll make sure to stop at the trade deadline and show you all. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, Amen Thompson wins 6th Man of the Year. Let's go. He was averaging 15 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists with amazing defense and shooting 64% from the field. Then we had Wemby also winning Defensive Player, Risa Shea Most Improved, Ant-Man Clutch Player, Ime Udoka, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive. Let's take a look at the All-NBA selections. Once again, we get ourselves Kevin Durant and Alperen Sengun on All-NBA second team. Do we get anyone here on an all-defensive team? And it looks like we do not. That is alright, because we ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 68 games and losing only 14. Our new team was absolutely unstoppable. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season. So Kevin Durant was averaging 28 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steal, 1.5 block, while shooting 55% from the field and 43% from the 3-point line. Alperen Sengun was averaging a career high 22 points per game, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.5 steal. He played absolutely amazing as well. 17 from Jabari and a few more players in double-digit scoring. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. They have themselves DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and Derek Queen, as well as Jeremiah Fears coming off of their bench. Game number 1 will go to us, KD dropping 30 points, 21 from Thompson, 19 from Sheppard. Game number 2 will also go to us, this time KD drops 36 and 23 from Thompson. Game 3 we also win, and we go on to sweep the New Orleans Pelicans. So far, KD's averaging 30 points per game. Şengün's averaging 15. Now, it looks like in the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on Kevin Durant's previous team, the Phoenix Suns. They have themselves Kobe White, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Mark Williams. Game number 1 will go to the Phoenix Suns. They defeat us here 99-95, 20 from Jabari. Game number 2 will end up going to us, Şengün with 29 and 11, KD dropping 22 and a 19-point double-double from Nembhard. Another thing I forgot to mention, Nembhard has been playing absolutely amazing for us. In the regular season, he was averaging 7 assists per game while only averaging 1.9 turnovers per game, so his turnover ratio is really good. Game 3 will go to the Phoenix Suns. Game 4 also goes to the Phoenix Suns, so now the Suns are up 3-1 against us, and now I'm going to come up with a defensive coach game plan. We are down 3-1, but I have come up with a defensive coach game plan, and I also put Amen Thompson in our starting lineup. Tari Eason was struggling from the 3-point line, shooting only 30%, so might as well put Amen Thompson, who's playing amazing here in the playoffs, shooting 61% from the field. Also, defensive coach game plan has been set. Let's see if that's going to help us win these next few games. We will have home court advantage for game 5. Let's see what happens. And so far we do have the lead, and it looks like we do end up winning 134-113. KD dropping 30, 26 and 16 from Şengün, and 21 from Keegan Murray. And we also go on to win the next game. The Phoenix Suns will have home court advantage here. And so far the Suns do have the lead, but we do push back. We're up by 3, 4 minutes remaining, and we go on to win 114-109. Andrew Nembhard led the way here with 23 points, 19 from Thompson, and 18 from Şengün. The series is tied at 3-3 apiece. Can we go on to win here in Game 7, or will we be eliminated? We will have home court advantage on our side. We do start off the first quarter really strong, but hopefully we can keep this up, and yes, we can. We end up winning this game 132-111. Thompson dropped 33 points. Good thing we made him a part of our starting lineup. KD with 23 and 17 from Keegan Murray. And thankfully we do go on to make the Western Conference Finals. So we just came back from a 3-0 deficit that the Phoenix Suns had on us, and now here in the Western Conference we will be taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, and they have themselves Luka Doncic, Luke Dort, Jake LaRavia, LeBron James, and Isaiah Hartenstein. It looks like they also ended up with Cameron Boozer somehow. I'm not sure how they ended up drafting him, because the Lakers shouldn't have had the second overall pick, but somehow they did. So far here in the playoffs, KD is averaging 25 points per game. Let's see if we can go on to make the NBA Finals. Game number 1 will go to us. Şengün dropping 29, 26 from KD, and 24 from Amen Thompson. Perhaps we should have had Amen Thompson a part of this starting lineup from the get-go. But I had thought that because of his 3-point shooting ability, well, non-3-point shooting ability, the floor spacing would not be alright. But clearly, things have been going pretty well. Game number 2 will also go to us. Şengün with 29. 23 from Nembhard, and KD had himself a 20-point double-double. Game 3 will end up going to the Lakers. They win here 121-111. KD played amazing, but our defense was pretty bad. Game 4 will go to us. We're up now 3-1, winning Game 4 133-119. KD dropped 44 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Can we go on to gentlemen sweep the Lakers? And yes, we can. KD dropping 35 points, 24 from Şengün, and 18 from Amen Thompson. And now it looks like in the NBA Finals, we're either going to be taking on the New York Knicks or the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it will be the Knicks. Kevin Durant goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game. And then we have Jalen Brunson winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the New York Knicks. They have themselves Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and somehow they ended up with Pascal Siakam. And obviously they still have Karl Anthony Towns at that center position. And I'm not gonna lie, this big 3 the Knicks have of Karl Anthony Towns, Pascal Siakam, and Jalen Brunson is pretty deadly. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us. KD with 33 and 26 from Thompson. Game number 2 will also go to us, and this time it's Nembhard leading the way, dropping 35 points, 29 from Kevin Durant. Game 3 will end up going to the New York Knicks. They win here in overtime. KD played amazing, but sadly we do fall short. Game number 4 will also go to the New York Knicks. They win here 122 to 119. Jabari had 28 and 27 from KD. What I'm now going to do is come up with a defensive coach game plan. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece, and I have come up with a defensive coach game plan. Will that help us win these next few games? It looks like we do have home court advantage for game 5. We do start off the first half really strong, and our defense was amazing. We go on to win 114 to 75, so clearly our defensive coach game plan worked out in our favor. Thompson led the way here, dropping 29 and 11, KD with 23, and 12 from Jabari Smith Jr. All we gotta do is win one more game, and then we'll have won Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets a championship. The Knicks will have home court advantage for this game. And so far it's a pretty close back and forth battle, but we are starting to run away with it, and we end up winning 125 to 119. Şengün led the way here with 28, KD dropping 25, Nembhard with 21. And just like that, we won the Houston Rockets and Kevin Durant a championship. KD goes on to win Finals MVP, averaging 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. I will be running it back one more season to see if we can win KD a back-to-back championship. But before that, let's take a look at the player stats. So we played a total of 22 games here in the playoffs. The leading scorer was KD, averaging 27 points, and then we had Şengün averaging 20 and 10. KD's defense was amazing as well, 1.5 block and 1 steal per game. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 6 games, and the leading scorer was KD, averaging 28. Then we had 20 from Andrew Nembhard. Whoa, I did not know that Nembhard was averaging 20 points per game in the NBA Finals, as well as 6 assists. Şengün was averaging 19 points and 11 rebounds. I will be simulating through the off season, and I'll see you guys at the beginning of the up and coming season, and there I'll show you all the changes I've made to the roster. Here we are at the start of this season with our 9-man rotation. I did pull off a pretty big trade, bringing in a new star player, Jaren Jackson Jr. To make this trade happen, I sent away Jabari Smith Jr. and Keegan Murray, as well as a first-round pick. I wanted to bring in a new star player, make this video a little bit more interesting. We've already won a championship, so I said, why not bring in a new star player to pair up with KD? Plus, we don't have a rim protector in our starting lineup, but with Triple J, now we have defense beside Şengün. So the new starting lineup will be Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Kevin Durant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Then off the bench, we have Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd, Jordan Walsh, and Robert Williams III. We will be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency balanced under Ime Udoka. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, and I'll see you all in the playoffs, where hopefully we go on to win a back-to-back championship. This season, our team goes on to win the NBA Cup, with Alperen Şengün winning NBA Cup MVP, averaging 28 points per game, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Looks like we took on the Miami Heat, and in this game, Şengün dropped 29, KD dropped 25. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win an MVP. Kevin Durant was in the word races to winning MVP, but sadly it does not go to him. Michael Brown Jr., Rookie of the Year, DeJounte Murray, 6-man, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player, Peterson, Most Improved, Darius Garland, Clutch Player, Ime Udoka, Coach of the Year, and the Mavericks go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's take a look at the All-NBA selections. We do get ourselves Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant on All-NBA second team for the 3rd season in a row. Do we have any more awards here? And it looks like we also get Jaren Jackson Jr. on all defensive second team, and that will be it for awards. We ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 70 games and losing only 12. And our team played absolutely amazing. I do wish Kevin Durant did go on to win MVP, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at the player stats before we start simulating here in the playoffs. So KD was averaging 30 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block on 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. Then we had Şengün averaging 22 points per game, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He had himself an amazing season here, averaging a career high in points per game. 18 from Triple J, 16 from Thompson, and 13 from Tari Eason. In the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. They have themselves Luka Doncic, Jalen Green, Asar Thompson, Cameron Boozer, and Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't know how this team ended up being a play-in team, but their starting lineup is pretty elite. They have a really good starting lineup. Their bench unit is pretty stacked as well. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us, and KD drops 47 points, 25 from Triple J, and 23 from Şengün. Game number 2 will also go to us. We do end up losing game 3, and we win game 4. Can we also win game 5? And yes, we can. We go on to gentleman sweep the Los Angeles Lakers. Now we've made it to the second round of the playoffs. So far, KD's averaging 33 points per game. Şengün is averaging 22. We will be taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round of the playoffs, a previous team of Kevin Durant. They have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Darren Peterson, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Thomas. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to the OKC Thunder. We win game 2, we win game 3, we win game 4, and we do not gentleman sweep them, but can we beat them here in game 6? The Thunder will have home court advantage, and so far they do have the lead, and it looks like, whoa, we just came back big time in the fourth quarter, and we end up winning 137 to 126. KD dropped 38 points, 25 from Thompson. And we've now made it to the Western Conference Finals. It looks like we're going to be taking on the San Antonio Spurs. They have themselves Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Michael Porter Jr., Carter Bryant, and Victor Wembanyama. And they do have De'Aaron Fox coming off their bench. Somehow they also ended up with Kel'el Ware. This team has a stacked bench unit just like us. And honestly, even more stacked than we do. But let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to us. KD with 29. 26 from Triple J. Game number 2 goes to the Spurs, game 3 goes to us, game 4 goes to the Spurs. So now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. I believe I will come up with the defensive coach game plan. There we go, I've come up with the defensive coach game plan. Series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Can we win game 5? We will have home court advantage on our side. And so far we do have the lead, but of course they take it right back from us, and now they're up 6 points, 6 minutes remaining. They're up by 6, and it looks like we will be losing. Thompson had 26, 19 from Şengün. KD kind of did struggle, only put up 17 points. We are down 3-2. Hopefully we're able to top the series here in game 6. The Spurs will have home court advantage on their side. And so far, we do have the lead. It's a close battle. We're up by 3, 5 minutes remaining. Hopefully we can start to run away with this. 3 minutes remaining, we still have the lead. Back and forth battle. 150 remaining. Can we come back? We are kind of starting to run away with it. Let's jump in. 48 seconds remaining. 124 to 120. It looks like De'Aaron Fox is at the free throw line. Hopefully he only has one more free throw, and clearly he does not. He has 2 free throws. I want to make sure KD is subbed in, so let me quickly check that out. So it looks like Şengün has fouled out, so Robert Williams is coming in, and KD is checked in. Hopefully Fox goes on to miss this next free throw, and he does end up making it. We have 48 seconds to kill here. Hopefully KD can score another 2 or even a 3 would be ideal. He's being guarded here by MPJ, double teamed, wide open Thompson, who's not a shooter, and of course he misses. That was honestly a pretty horrible shot because as open as Thompson was, Thompson is not a good 3-point shooter, so we shouldn't have allowed him to shoot. Thankfully, we do play good defense. Kevin Durant gets fouled, which means he may be going to the free throw line. It looks like that will be the case. Let's go. Most likely he will be hitting both of these free throws, and if he does, this game is most likely over. First free throw goes in. Hopefully the second one does as well. KD with his second free throw, and he ends up hitting it. Let's go. We're up by 4, 126, 122, 22 seconds remaining. The timeout is over. Let's see if the Spurs can do something here. Inbounded by Carter Bryant, he gives it out to MPJ to Castle, and a wide open 3-point shot by Harper, but thankfully he goes on to miss. Kevin Durant is fouled once again, going to the free throw line. This game is over. Now the series is tied at 3-3 apiece. In that game, Kevin Durant had himself 39 points, 21 from Şengün, and it looks like the Bulls have already made the NBA Finals, defeating the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals. But hopefully we can defeat the Spurs here in Game 7. Thankfully, we will have home court advantage on our side. So far we do have the lead, but can we keep it is a question, and yes we can. We end up winning here 140-119. KD had 24, 23 from Thompson, and a few more players and 20 points or more off of our team. And Kevin Durant goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 30 points per game as well as 2 blocks. And then we have Josh Giddey winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls have themselves Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, Okoro, Matej Buzelis, and DeAndre Ayton, and this is their bench unit. It looks like the Chicago Bulls were a play-in team. They're the number 10 seed, but they've made it all the way to the NBA Finals. Let's see who they defeated. So first they beat the 1-seeded Atlanta Hawks, then they beat the Orlando Magic, then the Toronto Raptors, and now they're going up against us. Game number 1 will go to us, Şengün with 28. Game number 2 will also go to us. We win game 3, and we go on to sweep the Chicago Bulls to win a back-to-back championship. And of course, our Finals MVP is Kevin Durant, averaging 28 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steal, and 1.5 blocks per game. And that is absolutely amazing. We go on to win the Rockets and Kevin Durant 2 championships in this video. Before I end this out, here are the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 22 games, and in those 22 games, the leading scorer was KD, averaging 31 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1.5 block on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Şengün was averaging 22 and 17 from Thompson. In the NBA Finals, we played 4 games. The leading scorer was KD, averaging 28 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 21 from Şengün. Wait a second, 21 from Thompson, and then we had 20 from Alperen Şengün. And Jaren Jackson Jr. was huge for us as well. I'm really glad I traded for him. His defense was phenomenal. And I would also like to give a huge shout out to my boy Jordan. He suggested for me to make this video of putting KD in his prime, so shout out to you Jordan. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now that's going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. That really does support out the channel a ton. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.